Hey everybody, welcome to another HeroClix podcast. I'm your co-host Alec Musser, and I am here with my other co-host Manny Ortega.
What's up? Is that better than hello, hello?
You kind of scared me there, buddy. You almost scared our special guest here, Wesley Robertson.
Greetings. How are you today?
Good, doing good. And I might call you Wes. You go, and you're okay with Wes, right? We've talked about this.
Yeah, that's what most people call me.
Okay. So everybody call him Wes. Before we get started, there's a lot to cover today. Unfortunately, we picked a day to record, and this was the day that Wizkids just decided to drop absolute bombs on us. So, but before we get started, Wesley, do you want to give us a little introduction? How long have you been playing? Maybe just some little factoids about you?
Yeah, I picked up HeroClix, the perfect time to pick up a tabletop game where you have to play with other people during the pandemic. So I got a brief introduction to it, and then the world collapsed. So I started playing around Wonder Woman 80th, but I didn't really start buying bricks until Rise and Fall. And I've only been in the competitive scene for about the last year or so.
Awesome. What's your favorite set?
Well, I wish it was Deadpool because I am the world's biggest Deadpool fan, but it kind of fell flat for me. Probably the best overall set, I think, would be Notorious.
Oh, yeah, it's such a good set. It's Manny's favorite set.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Which is funny because I'm not a huge DC guy, but I think that the chases in that were just fantastic. I love the mechanics in it. It's just overall just great.
I like the goons. That's cool.
You're a goon. That's what I call them now. I'm just kidding. The Notorious is a great set. I agree. I really liked Wonder Woman 80th though as well. I don't know if it's one of my favorites, but that was a great set to jump back in. Us three are doing the Team Seal event at Nationals at Gen Con this year, which is happening inside Lucas Oil Stadium. If you guys didn't know that now.
Yeah, I switched it.
It is, but now we're going to be playing where the Colts play, which I'm a big football fan myself. I'm not a Colts fan, but that's still kind of cool. Let's talk about the games we've been playing this week. This is any kind of game from video games to board games, or just anything that you've been doing recently that you think that people might want to try out and you think it's fun. I'll kick us off. So I play a lot of disc golf, which is it's a game in the sense of like it's a sport, but I've been playing a lot of disc golf lately. That's one thing. It's been really fun, actually. But the board game that I've been playing a lot with Megan and other people is called Ready, Set, Bet. It's a horse race betting game. And each horse is assigned a number, except for two horses are assigned two numbers. There's one horse that's assigned the 2 and 3, and then the one horse that's assigned a 11 and 12. And you roll dice, and based on the number that is rolled, you move the horse up. And you bet on that. And there's it's so much fun. You can play up to 9 people. It get incredibly hectic. I think it's super awesome. It's a really fun game. If you like HeroClix in terms of like the dice probabilities and stuff like that, this has a lot of that in it. You're betting basically on probabilities, but it could all change at any time. So that's the game I've been playing a lot.
We just recently picked up a party game called That's Not a Hat, and it is a memory game pretty much. So you're pretty much like picking a card from the pile, flipping it over, and passing it around until someone forgets what it is and calls you out on it. And that's pretty much
interesting. It's Ravensburg. Burger.
It's really fun. I like it because it's a lot of laughs, especially when you're in a party setting. People with bad memories are definitely fun to watch play that game. So,
it looks kind of cute. I like the art on it.
The simple, fun little party game that we've been playing quite a bit.
Heck yeah, $10, bang for your buck game right
and
here.
It's cheap. Yep.
Heck yeah. Omega win if you like games. How about you, Wes? Have you been playing anything lately?
I've been so busy lately. I haven't had a lot of time for stuff like that, and my family don't like board games. So I have a closet full of Risk, which is my favorite board game. I started playing that when I was in the Army. I was stationed in Iraq, and we would set up a table of Risk and start playing, and we'd go on a mission, and we'd come back and play some more. And a game of Risk would take us like a week to get through. But I started collecting different variants of Risk. I have a whole closet full, just nobody to play with. But I love those kind of strategy type of games, World Conquest.
Absolutely. I know, man. I don't know, Manny. You like those strategy games too, right?
Yeah. I've never actually played Risk, but I do like a lot of strategy games.
I think that would be an interesting addition to HeroClix sometime if they ever want to try a new mechanic of how in Risk, the attacker rolls 3 dice and the defender rolls 2, and any matches go to the defender. Instead of just a flat static numbers, there's actually more of a chance involved in the attacks. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be very interesting for sure. I agree. All right. Well, we had Wesley on the podcast today because he was the only one of us in our little group chat, our Gen Con group chat. There's 7 of us in total that went to the Midwest Championclix, and he was kind of the hype man for it. So, Wesley, do you just want to talk about your experience at Championclix and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. It was Keith Barnett's brainchild. He invested all of his time and energy and resources into it. His wife actually provided all the concessions. She has a little bakery, and her crew came in and made breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everybody. So that was really awesome. And it was kind of a group effort from a lot of people from the Indianapolis area, but it was Keith Barnett that really put it all together in a very short period of time. And we played at the National Guard Armory there, and it was a great space, a nice wide open gymnasium kind of feel. And, the turnout was a little limited, but we had 3 times the turnout. We've had plenty of space in there, and it was clean, and it was just great. If anybody wants to put together a new event, National Guard Armories are a great venue to go to. They did, it was 3 days. They ran BRs throughout, a team bash, they called it. Teams of 2 paired off and split 5 boosters and made the best team they could. I was graciously invited to play with Daniel Powell, who actually carried our team through to second place. Basically, our strategy was, first of all, our polls were absolutely garbage. Like, it was, if there's a bad booster in the brick, it was ours. But he took all of the best of the trash, and our basic strategy was that he would just sweep everybody, and I just had to stay on the board with some points, and then we would take it. And we did really well. Even though I had a very difficult team, it was an uphill battle. I was able to score pretty good. I think I cleared the second person I played. But then in our last match, we had to replay the people we just played. And he knew everything that I was going to do. And I just, my dice went ice cold on me. I think I made 1 attack in the whole game. Like, it was ugly. So, I got absolutely wiped, and we ended up in second place. But it was a lot of fun. Daniel did an amazing job with the pickings that we had. And he was a very gracious player to allow me to play with him. And then second day, we went into the 300 Modern, and I ended up dropping out after, I think, 3 games. It just wasn't going well for me, and I saw people playing BRs over in the corner, and I was like, man, I really want to play some BRs. So I dropped my team and went over and played BRs for the next 2 days. But it was nice because I brought home a nice haul of super rares and LEs and everything else. So that was a lot of fun. But it was a decent turnout. I think that being 4th of July weekend and short notice and coming on the heels of Origins, it was a bad storm of coincidence is, but a lot of people came from pretty far to play, and there's a good group of people. I made some new friends, and I know for a fact that Keith is looking forward to future events. I think he's doing something similar around January, February, when it's kind of the dead period of HeroClix, to host something to get people together.
I really did want to go, and it looked like a lot of fun.
It was a great time.
And Dan's an awesome dude. Sorry, I love Dan. He's super cool. He's always really nice to me, at least. So,
yeah. I asked him afterwards, because I was just beating myself up over just dumb mistakes I made, and I was like, "How do you, when you play someone against you, like, how does it not drive you crazy just replaying the games in your head over and over again?" And he said, "It's kind of like in the Avengers movie when Bruce Banner's talking to Cap and he says, 'I'm always angry.'" He said he's always replaying stuff and thinking about things he could have done differently. He just doesn't let it drive him crazy. But it's just his brain's always moving.
Yeah, it's better to like say, okay, I've lost this, I'll accept this, I'll go back to the drawing table, see what I did wrong, or see what figures or whatever weren't working, and try and adapt from there. That's just definitely a skill to have. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. Daniel ended up winning. Also, he has a podcast, which if you're watching this, you probably already know that. But in case you don't know, he does have a very good podcast called Clicked Off, where he hosts it with a bunch of his buddies as well. Go check him out for sure. What did you play for your 300 Modern team?
I played an Assassin's team. I'm reworking it because it kind of fell flat, but I ran King Deadpool and Elsa, Wolverine Pool, Raz Al Ghul, and Prime Raz. And then our group chat, we call him Daddy and Prime Daddy because autocorrect kept changing it, so that just became his name.
Prime Dad.
But my goal was to run the Assassins where Prime Raz buffed everybody's attack +1. Just carpet the whole table. And then to use non-Prime Raz to move the target token around and score an extra 25 points over and over again. So I ran Verusa from Wheels of Vengeance.
Yep. Yeah. Or next phase.
Next phase, yeah.
Next phase, yeah. So she gives an extra 15 points to a KO target, and then Raz gets an extra 25. So when I KO'd Kong, I scored 90 points.
Heck yeah.
So that was my goal, is just to rack up the points as fast as possible, because my defense numbers weren't great. So I just wanted to get those attacks off, KO stuff, get the extra points, and win my points at the end of time. And it was a solid strategy. I think just need some tweaking and a better pilot. But I definitely like Prime Raz. I just don't think that non-Prime for 80 points is good enough.
Yeah, he's too many points. I hope they come out with a figure here soon that does what he does for less points, but like not an attacker. Kind of like if they made Valerie Fontaine like a kind of thing, like 40 points, does the target trait, and maybe has like leadership and perplex or something like that, but does literally nothing else. That'd be nice.
I do want to give a shout out to my boy Jeff's Land Shark for being a tiny little baby shark. He put in some work. He KO'd Wolverine Pool.
Heck yeah.
Just the constant dropping of pizza tokens, and when you're bladesing, like I just perplex his attack up and you blades and get high rolls, fortunately, and he gets forgotten about because he's just a little shark. But no, he put out some work. I was really proud.
Yeah, I think Jeff is pretty decent. I like him a lot.
Yeah, it was a good time. I definitely like this Assassins theme. It needs more work before it's Gen Con ready.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Gen Con's coming up around the corner. I guess that's a good segue. Let's just jump right. Unless there's something else you want to say, real quick.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Let's jump into Gen Con. So we, like I said, we are team sealing for that event. So this is the three of us. We're going to be team sealing. It's been nice to finally get figures to look at, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, what are we going to be doing? What are you guys going to be doing at Gen Con? Let's start with Manny.
At Gen Con, I mostly signed up for BRs. Like I said, I'm not a big modern person yet. I probably could be. I really don't feel like I have the time, especially with my work, to put in a lot of the effort to make the modern teams. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of BRs, and I'm a big board game person, so I wanted to save some time as well to be checking out a bunch of board games and stuff as well around that I could.
There's just so many board games. It's so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. This will be my first ever con, so really excited.
Yeah, I was there last year, and it was just mind blowing. The amount of stuff they had there, if you like any of that kind of stuff, there's something there for you. It was just, I've never seen anything like it. I'm going for mostly BRs because I think I do better unprepared. When I'm building teams, I overthink things and second guess stuff. If I just pull from a booster and play what's in front of me, I think I do better. And the pricing's awesome. But I'm going for the team sealed, and then I do have one qualifier for the 300 modern just to see if I can do it, see if I can make top cut. It just sounds fun, but it's not my main focus. My main focus is the BRs.
Absolutely. If you are I don't know if I can win anything, but BRs, if you run 3 or 4 BRs, you will definitely walk away with something, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
You're very unlucky if you don't.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Well, I hope not, man. I always talk up how good you are at sealed events. You did win that man thing.
That's true. I did.
And you didn't even pull him, right?
Correct.
That's what's not. I don't know. That's a hard piece.
I pulled the Super Abomination, but passed it up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Which, Alec, what's our team name again?
Is it Man Thing in the Boys?
Yeah. Yep.
It's Man Thing in the Boys. Because Manny, his real name is Man Thing. We just call him Manny for short, just like we call Wesley West for short.
On my birth certificate.
It's on his birth certificate. You heard it here. Manny says on his birth certificate.
I'll bring it to Gen Con for anybody who doesn't.
He's gonna bring it to Gen Con. He's gonna bring his birth certificate. He's gonna slam it on the table. He's gonna say, "I'm Man Thing."
There it is. There it is.
Oh man. I'm also doing some sealed events. I'm obviously doing the team event, and then I will be doing modern as well. I'm in the pod of 1 p.m. on Friday. Hopefully, if I win it, then I'll be doing some BRs here and there. If I don't win it, then I will try and see if I can jump into one on Saturday and stuff like that. I hope I just place. That's kind of where I'm at. If I just if I make it to Saturday afternoon, I will be a happy camper. But I don't think they've released pricing for Gen Con yet, so there is that.
Did they release what sets they're going to be doing for the BRs or team?
They have not. They said they have more stuff that they're going to be talking.
I think they announced that the Colossal boosters were going to be prizes, right?
Oh, yeah, they did announce that.
For BRs?
Yes. So for the assumption is that we're going to get Time Masters to play with, but I think they're hedging their bets just in case something happens in the shipping that they might fall back on Deadpool, but there's definitely going to be Colossal boosters there for pricing.
Maddie, you're so excited. I can hear it in your voice.
Well, at least they know if I win them, they're up for grabs.
That's true. That's what I've been banking on. And you know that Drew is going to be... if you win a Jurassic booster, He's gonna be paid. He will come straight to you. So I showed Drew that dark side. He said, "I'll trade my entire collection for that dark side." Well, so
I'm with Manny on the. I'm not overly excited about the set. Like it's some definitely cool stuff in there, but I'm just more of a Marvel guy, and I am a Deadpool fanatic. I'm desperately trying to complete my Deadpool set from this last set, and I have, I think, 8 or 9 more chases to go. So when I bring home those Colossals, those will be up for grabs for Deadpool trades.
absolutely.
What Deadpool chases are you missing?
I'm missing Deadpool Hitmonkey, Deadpool Death, all the Wolverines.
I also have someone at my venue who has a Deadpool Hitmonkey, and I think he's willing to sell it. So
The only chases I have are King Deadpool and Elsa, and then Old Man Logan. Yeah, I pulled a second King Deadpool that was missing a head, so I had to ship that back to Wizkids. I'm hoping to get a replacement here soon.
I mean, that one. I think that one is the most expensive one, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Deadpool.
It's definitely my number one. It was my out of the whole set. That's the one thing I wanted more than anything.
I would just say, unfortunately, in my brick, I didn't even pull a chase.
Yeah. So Drew and I pulled the one brick. So I bought 2 bricks from the set that are worth mentioning. I bought 2 bricks. Period. Right. So I bought one for our HeroClix weekend, Manny, that we never actually got to have, and then I bought the other one from the Midwest Championclix, and that brick I pulled Weapon X Chase and Colossus Prime, and then a couple other things. And then Drew had the other case on the other, had a different brick that he opened up, and he opened up Rogue Prime and She-Hulk and Wolverine. And then for my brick that I opened on the weekend, I opened up Deadpool and Death. So I was fortunate to pull all chases. Oh, and then the brick that Wizkids sent me, I had Major Logan, but I traded that off to get Colossus Prime and a couple other things.
I got 2 primes, 4 super rares in my brick. So I mean, wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible, yeah. And I was fortunate to pull Zombie Wolf in pre-release. So
yeah, that's super baller. Super baller.
So hopefully WizKids will be generous enough to send you a brick of Time Masters, because as of right now, there's an Ultra Chase out there that we have not seen. So it'll be the one they send you, I'm sure.
I've never opened an Ultra Chase before.
I did.
What one did you open up?
I got Mephisto.
No, that's right. You did.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the loose booster too?
No, so I bought a brick and 2 loose boosters, pulled Ultra Chase Mephisto in the brick, and then on the side I pulled Ghost Goblin and 2 boosters.
That's what it was. I knew you pulled one of them.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's a great pull. That was like me. Yeah. No, I don't want to make it about myself. That was just a good pull. Sorry. I'm like, oh yeah, that reminds me of the time that I like do a Family Guy like cutaway. Like that reminds me of the time where I pulled Carnage Silver Surfer. But I don't want to sound like, oh, it's all about me. I want to come back to me. So anyways, maybe I'm just overthinking it. But, so Gen Con, so let's talk about, the craziness that has happened about there's some things that happened with Gen Con. There's some things that happened today, which is the 16th, which they decided, you know what, let's just unload it all. Let's just do it all. So, as of right now, there's 6 unboxings, 6 boosters into the Dial H for HeroClix set because they got product early. So we have some of those we'll talk about later. And then they decided to drop the Modern Age rotation today. So we have the 5-figure booster sets, which I don't even think they have any other booster sets anymore. So Exoswords OP, Avengers Forever, Batman Team Up, Spider-Man Beyond Amazing, and Avengers 60th are rotating as of September 16th, 2024, which is, I believe, after Worlds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That.
Also, the Hellfire Gala is, I know, it's super, super big bummer on that one. I know. as well as some convention exclusives. So Master Mold, Galactus, Ghost Rider, Thanos, Sentinel 1 and 2 are all rotating out. And then the Scott Porter Pog is seeing its leave. So I think
Just the Pog?
just the Pog. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed something. Scott Porter, the LE figures that came out less than a year ago are also rotating out of.
That's what I thought.
Which is pretty. Which makes okay. So if I'm being honest, it makes sense. There's no reason anybody should be building a non-theme team, or unless they're just doing it for the novelty of I can win without a theme team. Am I incorrect on that?
I usually always play theme just cause, so.
That's part of why I like the Scott Porter is because I was really bummed when they dropped the theme props.
Yeah.
I really like theme teams, and that gave people motivation to try to build themes. And then I went away, and I was like, oh, everybody's just going to play whatever. And then out comes Scott Porter, that basically forces you to play a theme. I'm just like, and that is so cool. That's what HeroClix should be.
Because you want to see like the Avengers, the Justice League, monsters. What's the really good keyword that I'm thinking of? That Detective is very, very good, but not the one I'm thinking about. The Quiet Council. X-Men and Professor X and Magneto. Everyone's running Quiet Council right now. But it's just, to me, there's no incentive to run anything other than both Scott Porters, which is hard because it's always the first 50 points of your build, right? So it's just doesn't make sense to me to not run Theme Team unless you're doing something super specific, which the Poison Ivy team did, but you can also run that themed.
For as much as they put into it when they released it and hard to get and made it so freaking good that I just feel like Scott Porter got shorted a little bit. Like he didn't get a full Worlds in to see play before they snatched him away.
I remember I was up at midnight waiting for those figures to release because I knew, because I think I missed wave 1 because I was asleep because they said they were going to happen at midnight and it never came out. And then after that, I waited up till midnight again for like wave 2 and I bought, I think, 3 of each. And that was not because I wanted to resell them. That was because I knew some people in my play group were not staying up till midnight trying to get these Scott Porters.
I was at the vet's office with my dog, and I asked, and they was out in the middle of nowhere, so I had no reception. So I asked for their Wi-Fi password so I can monitor the internet for when Scott Porter dropped.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Priorities, man. It's so funny, though, because Blackshirt Porter is going for like $80 plus right now. But he's a $20 figure when he came out, and it just sucks that they didn't re-release him. Like that really, honestly, the only time you ever got that Scott Porter was during that one drop for HeroClix for Huntington's, and then they were just like, "Yeah, okay, that's it." And then like White Shirt Porter,
we might get a Mr. Bubblegum from a Masked Singer.
Oh my gosh! Do you guys watch The Masked Singer? Does anyone actually watch that?
I actually do.
No, you don't. You're full crap.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I never watched an episode until I found Scott Porter was on there, and I made my wife binge the whole season with me. And she's like, "I'm never doing that again."
I do watch it.
You do? Is it actually? So what is the? Sorry, I don't want to get too into it, but so is it like? Is there just one character the whole season, or is it like?
No. There's a bunch of people.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of celebrities, and they come in and they sing, and every week, like the audience vote on their least favorite singer, and then they have to be unmasked.
Oh, and did he win?
No.
Second place.
Yeah, I got second place.
Man, did he earn it? Holy crap!
I think he lost to Vanessa Hudgens was the winner.
Oh well, Baby V, baby come back. You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember when she covered that song? I don't know. You guys don't? Okay, I grew up with 2 sisters, and I grew up on the High School Musical train, which now, at the time, I was like, oh, but now I know every song on High School Musical, and I don't regret it. It's because it's just like, I don't know, it's just, they got some banger songs in there. I don't know. I'm not weird. So Scott Porters are rotating out, and we're saying goodbye to map-wide rerolls. We're saying goodbye to free Sinestro Core Ring and also the best Pulse Wave in the game. We're saying, not only just free Sinestro Core, but just free keywords in general. Just whatever you want Scott Porter to be, but most of the time he's running Sinestro Core. You're getting...
After September.
Yep, after September. You say goodbye to +1 attack and +1 defense, and then possibly +1 damage if you could somehow fit a full team of the same character.
Same set, isn't it? Not
same
character.
set. Sorry, not same character. Yeah, same set. Yep.
They did in the article explain why they shortened his life in Modern, but I don't necessarily agree.
So to quote the excerpt, excuse me, players may notice that both Scotty P figures are rotating early. Figures rotated out of Modern to keep the format accessible for players early on in their HeroClix journey, as well as to keep things fresh for players who are enjoying playing frequently. Scott Porter leaving Modern a little early helps maintain the spirit of rotation. For players who already have Scott Porter in their collection, they'll get to continue using him in other formats.
So they made 2 of the most broken figures ever and then decided they're too broken or too rare.
I think what happened was too many people were like, I want to play competitive. And they're like, okay, so do you have Scott Porters? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, sorry, dude.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, fella.
That'd be an easy fix. Make more.
That would be easy. It would be that easy, wouldn't it? But we're dealing with Wizkids here. And they can't even get Wolverine Pool Chase Super Rare correct.
Yeah. Or patch.
And I will say, I was kind of dodging Deadpool earlier. The set overall is good. There's a lot of cool mechanics in it. And just being a Deadpool fan and being called a Deadpool set, it felt more like a Wolverine set. And so that kind of broke my heart.
Yeah, I get that. That's fine. I mean, like, I guess, yeah, that always, that does, I shouldn't say that always happens, but yeah, I mean, that was I feel like that was, yeah, that kind of sucked too. I wish they would have had, yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, I wish they would have this in the Deadpool set, but I think they missed some opportunities with the Deadpool set. But I mean, I think that, and I think obviously this probably was a very rushed set because of the movie, I would assume. That's just my speculation.
I feel like they had a pretty good amount of Deadpool variants in the set.
Yeah, they had uncommon Deadpool, common Deadpool, robot Deadpool. They had
Deadpool, Mind Pool, Sheriff Deadpool,
Wolverine Pool. And then they had 5 Deadpool chases. They had Wolverine, Hitmonkey, Elsa, Death, and there's one more that I'm missing.
So speaking of the movie, do you guys have your tickets yet?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. I was like, it's 3 weeks away. I better check to see if there's seats, and there was already like half sold out. Like I was like, oh, but I'm buying today.
I went to go see that movie with an ex-girlfriend of mine on Valentine's Day.
The original Deadpool?
The original Deadpool. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I remember.
So it is a love story.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not realize there was going to be that much love in that movie, and that was. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of stuff in movies, so I was definitely like sitting there like, oh my gosh, can we just watch Deadpool kill people?
Yeah. I'll never forget, we went to see the second one, and there was a family sitting like 2 rows in front of us with like young kids, like toddler to like 10, and my wife and I look at each other like, did they seriously bring their young kids to a Deadpool movie? And right at that moment, he does his fourth wall breaking up. Yeah, this is not a movie to bring your kids to. And we just start cracking up.
Okay, so yeah, Scott Porter's rotating. That's huge. That gives basically 0 incentive to build theme teams. And that really sucks because theme team is like half of the fun, like that Manny aforementioned before. I don't know if that's the correct use of that word, but I really, so there's 2 sides of this coin, right? There's great, now we don't have to build theme teams and we could just build whatever we want. But on the other hand, I feel like there's a part of me that says that a lot of people are just going to kind of mesh together the best pieces in Modern. And now they have that extra 50 points to deal with. Like, there's really no stopping them.
I will say, I remember seeing the exact same thing when they took away theme rolls, theme props,
Yeah.
and it was like 6 months later, maybe not even that long, when they roll out Scott Porter. So I'm really wondering if they have something brewing and we just don't know about it yet to incentivize.
I would be surprised if they said, "Hey, Team PCs are back," and I would be yes, okay. So now that I would feel like that's enough incentive to build theme, but not so overwhelmingly like positive to like so overwhelmingly mandatory that you have to build theme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I will say that they have tried very hard to include keyword shenanigans, like Blackheart can only teleport monsters and mysticals.
Yes.
Like things like that look for keywords. They've done a very good job of including that. So if you are grabbing a figure for that specific trait or ability, you're going to naturally just be building things anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Yeah, so Scott Pointers are bye-bye, and we're hoping that they have something to answer this. That's what we're hoping. Tarot cards are, as of 2024 rotation, characters with the tarot card keyword will be able to use tarot cards. Now, tarot, the uncommon, Saturnine, and then Saturnine, the LE, will be errated to have the tarot keyword.
Okay, I was like,
and then on top of that, there's a DC character coming with the tarot card, or the tarot keyword, and it looks like
they come with cards, isn't it?
Yeah. So I wonder if those are the only cards available for like. I wonder if each character with the tarot keyword that comes with cards will have their own set of 5 cards that you can use, but they'll just be reprints of the older ones.
I'm really hoping it's not just that one character in the set.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a full set list yet.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm sure that they will. I don't know if every character that has the tarot keyword will come with tarot cards, but I'm sure some will.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's a hot take because I'm in the vast minority, but I actually enjoyed tarot cards for the last 2 years. I know that it's not a popular opinion, but I thought that it added a different flavor to the game. It was something that you didn't necessarily build around, but like when I would build a deck, I'd go, okay, well, I have Precision Strike on 2 of these characters, so I'm going to throw in the Precision Strike card. Like, it wasn't, I didn't think it was that broken meta. It was just a little something extra just to add a little spice to the game. I didn't think it was bad for the game. I didn't think it was broken. I enjoyed them. I thought they were fun, personally.
Overall, like, it's just another thing to collect. So I personally don't like tarot cards for that reason. I don't really care unless they're super oppressive. Like, I don't really personally like using the 9. I use it because it's a very effective card. But like cards like the 9 of Swords and then like the Star, before they had the reroll thing, or before Scott Porter got introduced, really, like some of those cards are just way too oppressive to like really be like fun.
I actually played for casual the other day a Super Senses team with a tarot deck that plus my D6s roll, but Emilio had that card with the Precision Strike, no senses. And of course he played his Gen Con team.
Yep, I know. And then you're just like, well, I mean, there's nothing I could do. I can't even roll. You know, it's not even on a 6.
It's a 3/6, and still didn't matter.
That's one of the reasons I actually like tarot cards, because they're so random and you can't double up on a card. So, like, I like to play the Flurry card, and in one of the games recently, that Flurry card came up when I was tokened up and I couldn't use it. Like you can't plan. You can't necessarily plan on those cards coming up when you need them to.
I understand it's random, and that's fine. Like, that's the best part about it, right? It is random.
That's just my 2 cents, but whatever.
But I personally, for one, am excited to see them go. And I do like that you have to have a tarot keyword to play them. So then you don't like... So now your deck that you've been collecting all these years, the last, year or 2, hasn't been completely nullified, but you could still use it as an element that doesn't take up a sideline slot. So I think this is a good workaround. They'll make more tarot card characters. I'm sure they will.
Which is kind of surprising because for the last 2 years, all I've heard is people complain about tarot cards. So I would think that Wizkids would have been like, oh, our players don't like this. Let's not make more of it.
I feel like many people were vocally telling people like, dude, we hate tarot cards. Like, ban them. And then they're just like, hey, we're not going to ban them. We're just going to change them up a little bit.
Make them less usable.
Yeah. Like, this is like one step before just saying, hey, no more tarot cards. It's like, let's give these 3 characters and then one more character in this new set, the tarot keyword. If you play them, you can use your tarot cards. So it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, I don't really know. But any other points on this one? Sorry.
Nope.
Okay, so let's talk about the big chungy wungy, the maps. They have decided for nationals and for worlds, for U.S. nationals. So this could be different for other people's nationals, but both of these events will have map selections be limited to by 2x2s or the 16x16 square maps. Larger maps are not otherwise rotating for modern, but are still legal to use in other events as long as they are associated for the legal play.
I mean, I use the small maps now anyways more than anything, so I don't think that's going to really matter for me.
I'm a little confused on the logic because everything's rotate. All the big maps are going to rotate September 16th anyway. So why are they biggest exception for the maps to rotate even sooner? I mean, it just feels like it's a course correction for the Poison Ivy team specifically without actually fixing Poison Ivy.
Interesting. I think it screws a lot of people over being 2 weeks away from Gen Con.
Yeah.
Which someone in our group chat, he was just like, my whole team's defense was big maps. He was kind of like, well, I guess I gotta rethink my team for Gen Con because I had it all based on the fact that if I didn't like a matchup, I could just take you to a bigger map.
I mean, they were going to rotate anyway. I just don't understand so soon.
I'm sure it's because the amount of people have been talking about Morlock. It's really Morlock Tunnel, right? It'd probably be like 98% of the big maps are Morlock Tunnel, and then everything else underneath it. Because Morlock Tunnels is really the only big issue, right? They could have just said, "Hey, no Morlock Tunnel." They just decided to go away with all maps, and they say, there's the word they used a word here. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. More healthy or more competitive metagames in these situations because they want more interactive gameplay. There it is. I see the word.
And to be honest, though, I think most people are running have been running small maps for a long time.
Yes.
I know that a lot of other competitive players have been like, can we just get rid of the big maps already?
Yeah. It is what it is. I guess it doesn't really affect my team very much because I was using Blackheart anyways. I guess for me, it's just like, well, now I don't have to worry about thinking about, because I wasn't using MOEs on my team. So now I really am like, okay, well, I guess I wasn't going to use MOEs ever, but this kind of solidifies that I really don't really need to use them to bump up Blackheart's range and give myself an MOE engine. Like, I don't feel as guilty now not using it because, like, well, I mean, Blackheart can move 5 squares, place Kong on the 7th square, and then anything else as well. So
I do feel like most times when things change in the game, there's always some negative feedback initially, and then people adjust to it. Like, I remember when they first rolled out the smaller maps, and people were furious.
Yeah.
And within like less than a year, they're like, "Oh, this is awesome." So it's just a matter of time for people to adjust, be able to like change.
Yeah, I agree. I think people will adjust. I think people are ready to adjust after Worlds, but this is kind of a kick in the shins, Like, this is kind of like a low blow to some people who have been building around, okay, how do I get this full map reach? And now it's like, oh, well, now you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's probably a kick in the butt for them, especially 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
They're not. If you're working if you're working for like the longer maps or the bigger maps, now you have to readjust everything.
Yeah, that is
10 weeks before.
It's completely changing my thought on my team because I was so stressed about having a full map reach on a large map, the taxi or something. And now I just don't basically have to worry about it.
So just to recap, there's a lot of stuff rotating. Not a ton, but enough. Shop orders are rotating, which is big. tarot cards are now, after rotation, only going to be able to be used if your character has the tarot team keyword. And then maps for U.S. Nationals and Worlds are going to be 2x2. That's the big chungy-wungy news, I would say. There are some questions. There's a couple questions. I am pulling a Clicked Off podcast and asked questions. Emilio, our buddy Emilio, asks the biggest winners and losers of the long map loss. I think Ivy is definitely a big winner.
I disagree. I think she's a big loser.
I think Manny's a big loser. Yeah, I know we disagree on that, but I hope so. I hope Ivy's are kind of got nerfed by that. I think characters with long range, Kong and Blackheart are the huge winners. Colossus won big too. Colossus Prime. I know that's one of the big things that people are talking about is his mobility is not very good. Well, now you have a smaller map.
I actually can't think of any huge losers on this deal because if they already had a huge reach, then it's even better for them now. And other than Poison Ivy, there's not a whole lot of turtle teams anymore.
Well, Clea, I think Clea and Thor work really well together, and I think this actually made that team really, really good.
You say you talking about Prime Thor with Clea?
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about old King Thor, the LE.
Giant Reach
6. I think he's very good.
Oh yeah.
I think him with Jennifer Kale and Clea are a really good start to a can't touch me team. I think Ghost Rider and Arachnite really benefit from only having small maps. Their reach just got way bigger. World's Finest. I'm just looking at big names. Camo. That's kind of one of that was kind of one of Camo's biggest weaknesses is the big maps. But now he's got a small little map to work with, so he's gonna be moving around the map way easier. Yeah, so those are, I would say, biggest winners and losers. I'm trying to think who loses on a small map. I think Hawkeye really honestly loses. Hawkeye and Hawkeye. I would say loses, but they took a big nerf because that was part of their charm was they could attack from very far away, but now you can get up closer, quicker.
I was going to say them too, but now they just ping you from everywhere.
Yeah, to be fair, they are still very, very good. Let me be clear about that. They're still, I think, the best attacker. I think with Trick Arrows for sure, they're the best attacker in the game. Their defensive options went down because their big maps went away. That was really helping them with big maps, but now there's no big maps. So now when Blackheart boops over for 5 or 6 or 7 or however big it is, well, now you're in trouble because now you got to deal with the Kong or whatever mystic or monster you have to deal with.
I'd like to see them do something with Dolphin to fix that. Like, you can't target within if you're outside of 4 squares. Well, on a small map, that's not hard to do. They need to do something to make that a little better.
I don't know. They need to make swimmer something, but I think they need to make the swimmer team ability something more offensive. Like when this character moves, give them +3 movement if they're starting in water. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They need to change. Like swimmers is nice because you can't target them within 4 squares, but that's just like worse stealth. Unless they just give swimmers stealth, but only in water terrain. But this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I need this, shrink it down to like 2 squares or something. But I don't know. I'm not a designer.
Tyler Lothman. I don't know. I never actually said your last name, buddy. Sorry. Tyler asks, which, by the way, Tyler, if you want to come on the podcast, let me know because I love you and you've been running our HeroClix in our area for a while, and I would love to hear your opinions on some stuff. Anyways, Tyler says, how do you feel about the Scots rotating early and the changes to tarot? I guess my overall feelings for me personally are I'm okay. I guess I'm okay with Scots rotating. Well, I think we're going to see an uptake in Harley Quinn super rares, stuff like that. And I'm cool with Taro's leaving. So big win on that one.
Yeah, Taros for me don't really matter. I barely use them anyways, but the Scots I use a lot. So it's going to suck for me, but I mean, I feel like it opens up more for gameplay. You not have to keep that. You're not going to have that automatic 50 points on your team pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of, I voiced my opinions about the theme earlier, but I also really like not having the first 50 points of my team already decided for me. Like, I hate anytime there's a figure that is so good that if you're not using them, you're wrong. So this frees up your build to have a little more fun with it. Then you just, okay, now you're building with 250 points. Go.
Last question. Besides Edward saying what podcast and where can I listen? You can listen to this on Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. If you're not already listening to it, I'm trying to get Apple Podcasts, but they're not being very cool with making a account. Anyways, when do you normally play Clicks, and how big is your weekly play group? For me personally, when they play Clicks, there's 2 Clicks groups that I can play with. There's one on Saturday afternoon at a place called Warehouse Games and Comics. They do a lot of TCGs, and they've recently started doing HeroClix again. And then the big one that I go to is Cahan's Americana in Elkhart, Indiana. That's where I play. And we usually have, I would say, consistently have about 8 to 12 players come out a week on Sunday. That happens in the afternoon as well. And we play everything from 300-point Modern to 800-point Golden Age. And like this week, we're doing 800 points Silver, pre-Silver. So like you can have your whole team just be Silver or have your whole team be Modern or whatever. There's no ban list, but every character on your team has to be over 100 points. So we do fun games like that. So other than that, I try and play on Roll20, and then I play with some other people in my play group just one-on-one just to get some 300-point Modern practice. So how about y'all?
I primarily play in Lafayette, Indiana. Shout out Devin, Cameron, and Robbie. Right, core guys. We primarily play on Saturdays, like maybe once a month, just because lives, jobs, kids get in the way. But I'm not playing with them. There's a group in Indianapolis called themselves Apocalypse that's headed up by Keith Barnett, and they rotate a couple of different venues, and it's a pretty loose, casual, competitive group. Mainly we do 300 Modern just to prep for these big events, but outside of that, just pretty much 400, whatever you want kind of gameplay. It's a good group.
All right. I play at a place called Checkmate Games here in Ohio, Toledo, Ohio. We play usually every Monday at 6. And the kind of games we play are just whatever kind of cool theme we think of that night. And that's pretty much it. Like this upcoming Monday, we're playing a 400-point game. You have to your team has to have a number of characters that is a variable of 4. So like 4, 8, 12, 16. So you have to have that many characters on your team. We also have a house rule too that I think should be implemented, especially if you're playing a lot of casual, which is our checkmate discount rule, which is like you take the year that set came out from year now. So like say the set came out in 2012, you'll take, 12 years? 10 years? 11, 12?
From now, 12 years.
So 12 years, yeah. Times that by 3, and then just take that away from the character's point value to kind of like balance out older figures. That way you can use them better.
I love that rule. It's such a great rule. I think
it helped a lot.
I think for most figures, especially in Golden Age, that really, and some Silver Age, because at some point they still made figures pretty expensive back in like the early Superior Foes days. But yeah, I think that's such a great rule. That's all we're going to talk about today. There's a lot more to talk about, obviously, but like we'll talk about Masters of Time on a different episode, and we will do our patented Chat GPT outro because we don't know how to do outros. So this is our Chat GPT outro. Let's get started. Thank you for listening to another HeroClix podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Don't forget to subscribe and join us next time for more, and to share this with your friends.
Yes,
we
gotta say it together.
All right, okay.
3, 2, 1. Stay tuned.
Stay
curious. And keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They love for us to keep.
So
they want you to be curious. That's what I've learned about ChatGPT. They just want you to be curious people.
That should be our motto. Stay curious.
Stay curious. HeroClix is a mystery sometimes, so stay curious. All right, y'all. Take care. Thank you guys for listening.